my mind, I kept thinking, if it's bad, they're gonna call me. Well, they never called. Like, they can't just not call you if you have bad news, because, like, what if it's life or death? They'll call, right? These people didn't freaking call. I'm sitting there, and in my head, all I'm thinking is, this is not right. How is this possible? I'm a healthy human being. I'm 32 freaking years old. I weigh out my food, I measure my food, I eat whole foods, I cook at home, I don't go out to eat. I've already said all this anyways. I'm just like in denial, I think. This is the face of prediabetes. Welcome back to my channel, folks. Today we are going to talk about a very serious subject, my health. I am 32 years old and I have been diagnosed as pre-diabetic. Now, among being pre-diabetic, I have a very, very long list of things that are also going on with me here in these 15 pages of my test results. And I would like to go over them with you today. So before we get started, this is going to be part 2 of my weight gain journey, because originally I had everything filmed and I was getting ready to put it together for you guys to kind of keep up with me and see how things were going until I got these babies back today. Now today is Tuesday, August the 6th, and I am not sure when this is going to be posted, hopefully soon, because I'd like to just get it off my chest and get it out there and get on with my life. Before I get into the test results and explain to you what is going on exactly, I would like to take it back a few years to give you an idea as to what is going on with me. Now, before you go clicking off this video, I'd really like you guys to put your feet up, relax a little bit, maybe grab a beverage, and sit back and watch the results roll in, because this is no joke, ladies and gentlemen. I am 32 years old. I am, well, appears to be the epitome of a healthy human being. I am athletic. I am fit. I go to the gym almost daily. I weigh out my food. I measure everything. I home cook it. I do not eat candy, sweets, soda, juices, energy drinks. I don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol. I rarely even have a cheat day. And yet here I am pre-diabetic. And better yet, I'm allergic to sugar. So how does this happen? Seriously, how does this happen? There are no words. I have no words. I'm not going to really get into a ton of feelings on this video. This is just going to be more for informational purposes, so that way I don't have to continuously explain myself and why I do the things I do. Like I was previously saying, I did have my weight gain part 2 journey all videoed for you guys. I had everything filmed. I literally just had to upload it to my computer and start putting it together on my video editing software so that I could get it to you, because I actually did gain a couple pounds and it was very hard to do. I had to increase my food a lot, but I did it. I gained a couple pounds back. And then I have this huge bombshell that just gets dropped on me, and things are kind of now up in the air, and I'm really not sure where to go or what to do, but I have at least tried to be proactive in writing everything down and research, I guess. You know, I've only known this information for less than 24 hours, so I've been trying to do as much research as possible. I did run to the grocery store as well to kind of grab a few things to kind of get me on my way. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I was diagnosed as fructose intolerant. If you are unfamiliar with this, basically what it means is you are allergic to sugar. This is kind of something that has become more prominent now because processed sugar is in everything. You really can't get away from it. It's in ketchup, it's in breads, it's in even prepackaged meals. So I'm talking like stevia, what is it, dextrose, the erythritol or some crap, who knows. I've just been sticking to what I know and what works for me. Along with being fructose intolerant, I was also diagnosed with having gastroparesis. So I will go ahead and I'll put a little description here below so that way you guys have an idea. In layman's terms, gastroparesis means that the main vein in your stomach that tells your stomach to digest your food is damaged. It can be damaged due to diabetes. It can be due to medications, so if you are abusing medications, and it also can just happen. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it just happens. I have not had processed sugar in large quantities in a very, very long time. So how do you suppose that I ended up being pre-diabetic if I don't eat sugar? This was a shock to me too. A bit becoming a diabetic and not eating sugar. Now, I'm not saying I don't eat sugar at all. I do. Sometimes I'll have like maybe a small glass of orange juice, or I'll have like some fruit. I'll have, I don't eat candy bars or anything like that, but I'll have a granola bar that maybe has like some sort of like syrup on it, maybe like a chocolate drizzle or like a caramel drizzle, something like that. I do eat jelly or preserves, so it is in a prepackaged container. So yes, there are sugars in that. Sometimes I'll eat sandwiches, and depending on where it's from, like Subway, for example. So if I get like a sandwich from Subway, I don't know what's in their bread. More than likely it's going to be sugar, because there's sugar in everything. So yes, I'm not saying that I am the holy grail of listening to my diet specifically, but I don't eat sweets, I don't eat candy. Rarely do I eat Oreos anymore. I really, really love Oreos. Those are definitely one of my downfalls. But if I do, it's like once a month I'll have a sleeve of Oreos, or maybe throughout a month I'll have a couple Oreos here and there. I'm not sitting down and I'm not binging on the entire package. If some of you have been following me on Instagram or Facebook for years, or if you've known me for years, I love Pop-Tarts, I love Oreos, I love pancakes, I love things like that, but the base of them is carbohydrates. It's not the sweets that are pulling me in, it's the carbohydrates. I am a huge carby when it comes to foods. I will 100% go to the bread every single time. Sometimes I even scrape toppings off of pizza because I just like the dough part of it. I don't really eat a lot of pasta, but when I do, it's mainly sauce and the actual pasta. I don't really like meat in my pasta. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your answer right there. How in the world does somebody become pre-diabetic who does not eat sugar? Well, I have yet to really talk about on my YouTube channel about diet, because frankly I don't want to. Like, I want to help people and I want to give you the best information that I possibly can, but I have been preaching diet so long to so many people that they just stopped listening. And so I don't want to keep talking about it to people who don't want to listen. I know a lot about nutrition, and the fact that I keep having nutritional issues with my body is so annoying. I do everything that you're supposed to do, and then something like this happens. So let's take it down to nutrition just briefly before I get into the actual nitty-gritty of my test results. This is already going to be a long video, but I'm going to try and keep it to the basic facts as much as I possibly can. If you guys would like more information about each and everything that is going on, I am more than happy to make another video to kind of go more in depth. If you'd like more information as to my my diseases, so like the gastroparesis, the fructose intolerance, now my pre-diabetes and things like that, absolutely put it in the comment section below and I'd be happy to make another video. But anyways, now we're getting off track. So, what happens in the body when you eat carbohydrates? All right, so my camera died, so if I'm in a different area, that's why, so we'll just go with it. Anyways, where we were was carbohydrates are glucose. Glucose is glycogen, and so glycogen, what that is in our body is sugar, and that sugar is what is producing the energy. So even if I'm not eating straight sugar, so if I'm not eating a candy bar, I can still eat rice and it will still convert to sugar. I know that kind of seems crazy, but that is how we as human beings get our energy. Sugar is what is giving us energy to get through the day. It's what's powering our workouts. It's what's powering our livelihood, so the basic functions of our organs. That is why keto is such an up in the air thing, because our bodies naturally use carbohydrates, turn them into sugar, and use them as the energy that powers our body. So when you have like keto, for example, when you stop taking in carbs, your body has to then use a different energy source to convert that into sugar, which then turns into energy. So keto is fats. So having a heavy fat diet, your body has to learn how to convert those fats into sugar. It tends to burn more calories because your body has to learn how to convert those. It has to use energy to convert those, when naturally our bodies have no issue. So our body as a system, it already knows how to convert carbs into sugars. It doesn't have to learn how to, because it's already kind of hardwired into us. And then when somebody goes to a ketogenic diet, your body has to learn how to convert those fats into sugars, if that kind of makes sense. Another thing is that when our body is stressed out, a stressor can be actual stress. So our dog dies, we get in trouble at work, we lose our job. But exercise is a huge one. Exercise is a stressor on our body. Our body does not know the difference between us getting into a car accident or having a vigorous workout. It's all the same in our body. It is all one stressor. Our body doesn't know the difference between a fender bender stressor and a vigorous workout at the gym stressor. So exercise is a stressor on our body. You guys may or may not know me personally, but I'm naturally a very high-strung person. Thank you, Mother. I get stressed out a lot, and it's usually stress that's brought on by myself. So like it's self-induced stress, I guess. I don't know. What's happening when your body gets stressed is it's dumping sugar into your body. So it's carb dumping. Your body has stores and kind of like fat stores in your bodies, but it does that same thing with carbohydrates. So that's why you have energy to get kind of to your next meal, to your next workout, to whatever it is that you're doing, is because your body is holding on to that. So that way it can give you prolonged energy throughout the day. So let's say when you have stress, like you do a vigorous workout, you get into a fender bender, your blood pressure shoots through the roof, your adrenaline's really, really going. It's because your body is burning all of those glycogen stores that are in your body, so all those carbohydrates that are sitting there, and it's turning it into sugar. That sugar is what is energizing your adrenaline for the time being. So it's what's energizing your workouts, it's what's energizing you to get through the fender bender, or you know how those freak moms can lift cars off their children. It's because the adrenaline pumping through them is the energy that those carbohydrates, those glucose and glycogen stores in your body, they exert themselves. So, you know, when you want to do a big lift, or you want to run a long ways, or, you know, lift that car off your child, it's because you're exerting all of those glycogen stores in your body. And so what's happening when I'm getting stressed, and which is all day and all night, even when I'm sleeping I think I'm stressed, is that it's constantly dumping those carbohydrates into my bloodstream. So it's constantly dumping sugar, if that makes sense. I won't go into all of my symptoms, but I've been losing my hair in massive, massive quantities for about 10 months now. And I've mentioned it to my hairstylist, and she's actually said to me that it's very surprising that I have any hair left, because it is coming out, it's breaking off, it's very brittle. I'm very fatigued, I'm very tired. When I'm sleeping, I can't wake up. I'm falling asleep right away. Like I don't even know that these things are happening. Like I'll just be laying there and I'm out, done. Yes, a lot of people can do that, but this is just different for me, because I actually used to never be able to fall asleep. I had a lot of sleep issues, and so me falling asleep is not normal. All that aside, let's go over a few of my test results, and I'm not going to give you all of them because it's 15 pages of test results, but I'll go over the main ones and just get on with this, I guess. All right, guys, so 2 weeks ago I had blood work. They drew 9 vials of my blood. They tested for everything under the sun, it seemed like. All right, so I'm gonna go over the important things of my blood work. I'm gonna list them in the corner below, so that way you guys can kind of keep track. And you never know, some of this stuff might sound familiar to you, and you might have some of these same issues. So it's kind of nice to have kind of like a support system. First one here is MCV. And what MCV is the size of the erythrocytes in your blood. So what mine is kind of low. It's not horribly low, but it is low. And what that basically means is I'm anemic because of an iron deficiency. So what I need to fix it is B12. So the next one down here on the line is my lymph nodes and my white blood cell count. I have an infection somewhere, and my doctor can't tell me where or what it is. So that's comforting. The only thing I could think of is that my knee, for my knee surgeries, could possibly be rejecting the donor tendon that I got, but it's been over a year, so I don't feel like rejection of my donor ACL tendon is an option, but that's the only thing I can think of. But anyways, I feel fine. I'm not sick. I don't have any open cuts or anything like that. I'm not like, there's no green stuff coming out of my eyes. I'm not like, I don't know. I'm fine. According to this, my white blood cell count is up and my lymph nodes are actually very high. So meaning that my body is fighting off some sort of an infection. Moving on. Some of this stuff was not unknown to me, but it's still hard pill to swallow when other people are lecturing you about it, especially your doctor, when you're like, I know what's best for me. I live in my body. Don't tell me what to do. My sodium is low. My carbon dioxide is also very low. So the carbon dioxide in my blood is an acid. What it can cause is like your adrenal glands to not produce enough hormones, causes weakness, weight loss, things like that. So what this is telling me is that it can be a complication of type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Now, if you remember the title of this video, and the whole premise is that I am pre-diabetic. So basically I need to add more water into my diet. So we're gonna give that a shot. Moving on down, my glucose is very high, and so is my BUN. Flip the page. So my glucose being high is basically telling me that I am pre-diabetic. What it is that it's a sign of insulin resistance, so it's type 2 diabetes. And then the BUN is your kidney function. So high levels of BUN, which is what I have, it can cause kidney or liver damage. So if you aren't familiar with how the human body works, everything is filtered through the kidney and the liver. So anything you eat, anything you drink, supplements you take, pills you take, so if you take like ibuprofen, aspirin, NyQuil, if you drink alcoholic beverage, everything is filtered through the liver and through the kidneys. So it's like, there's a lot of wear and tear, I guess, going on. So that isn't like a huge surprise to me. The next one, which is a very large surprise to me, is that I am currently not absorbing protein. So the amount of protein that I consume could feed roughly a 200-pound male, and I am 125 pounds. So I guess that makes sense as to why I feel like straight garbage and I can't stop shitting my pants. So there's that. Okay, so moving on to other fun things. My bad cholesterol is low, and what this is my LDL, which is the low density lipoprotein. So like I said, it's the bad cholesterol. So I basically just need to add more bad cholesterol into my diet, which it's like oils, omega-3s, meats, red meats, even though red meat gives me a really bad upset stomach. So basically how I'm going to try and fix that is add a digestive enzyme to what I'm eating to hopefully help my body absorb the food that I'm actually eating, because it's like I'm not eating this stuff. I am. My body's just not absorbing it. And so I don't know if my body's not absorbing it because of the pre-diabetes, or if my body is acting like it has pre-diabetes because it's not absorbing the food. So how do you know this stuff? I don't know. It's trial and error. Next one, which is basically what is telling me 100% that I am pre-diabetic, is my hemoglobin is through the freaking roof. I am literally 0.1% away from being full-fledged type 2 diabetic. That's what gets me the most, is that how long have I had this? How long have I been this unhealthy? I don't understand. I don't eat sugar, but I eat carbs. So it's just like, it's like a mind fuck is what's happening, because your whole life you're like, don't eat sugars, don't eat sweets, don't get fat, don't do this, you're gonna get diabetic, you're gonna cut off a limb, you're gonna have to amputate your big toe. And then all of a sudden you're like allergic to sugar, you don't freaking eat sugar, and then you're like, hey, guess what, you're type 2 diabetic anyways. Surprise! How does that work? Okay, I'm better. I'm done being angry. Okay, that's a lie. I'm probably not done being angry, because it's just so stupid that my body is fighting me so bad every step of the way, no matter what I do. It just hates me. This other one is probably going to be the last one I'm going to touch on, is my thyroid. So this is my T4, my free T4, and my TSH. And what it's telling me is that I am hypothyroid, or at least borderline, so I am almost hypothyroid. So what it's telling me is that I am low, which is the hypo, not the hyper, which also still doesn't make sense because I can't hold on to any weight. If I was hyper, that means my body is hyperactive, and so that I'd be constantly like go, 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 my body would be constantly burning. But I'm hypo, which means belly fat, which means I would be gaining weight, which means I wouldn't be able to take it off. I would probably need medication to help take off excess fat, but I can't get any fat because my body hates me. So what is going on? I have no idea. I am so screwed up. My blood work is so screwed up. Go get your blood work done, people. It's very important. All right, the other ones is like Lyme's disease and like food allergies, which is whatever. I don't have Lyme's, and I have no food allergies. So I don't think a donut would have done this to me. I should have just ate the freaking donuts, because if I'm going to be pre-diabetic, I might as well do it while I'm enjoying my life, right? Right? That's not how that works. I know it's not how that works. It sucks that science makes sense and that I understand it. I'm going to kind of go into this like I go into all of my diet issues, like my gastroparesis and my fructose intolerance, and I'm going to do a lot of diet changes. I'm going to have to supplement. I don't really like to do a lot of supplements, but because of the vitamin issues that I'm having, I need to do that. Maybe eventually I can wean myself off of the vitamins, but there is so many vitamin issues that I didn't even mention. Like, when I say there's 15 pages, it's completely full of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not kidding, people. This is not good. Doing the vitamins is going to be a must for a while until I kind of get things back on track. I go back in 6 months and they retest my blood work. And as far as the white blood cell count, the infection, that is unknown to me. If it is still high when I go, they're going to do some more extensive testing to see if they can locate exactly where the infection is. The doctor was highly hinting at mono. I've never had mono, and I don't feel sick. I don't have a fever. I don't have a cough. My throat is fine. So, but that's kind of where she was leaning towards, but I guess we'll see. I haven't been sick since March, I think. And I was really sick in March, but ever since then, I've been fine. So I guess we'll kind of play that one by ear. But the funny thing is that I call my mother, you know, to tell her my news. And she says, oh yeah, they just diagnosed me as being pre-diabetic last week. Okay, so here's another thing about diabetes, is that it can be genetic. And my family freaking has horrible genetics. Every single one of them has something wrong with them. High cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks, cancer. Like, I don't know how my mom and dad decided that making me as a child was a good choice, because I have everything wrong with me under the sun from both sides of the family. Like, the list just goes on and on. I am so screwed up. Oh my gosh. I think that there should be a genetic test before people ever get married that says, what kind of crap do you have, because this other person has some really funky shit going on, and so if you combine that and you have a child, your child is going to be screwed up for life. And lo and behold, here I am. First things first is, when I was told this morning, I did not change anything. So I kept eating the same way, I was drinking the same way. But the worst thing that people tend to do when something like this happens is they make a drastic change right now. They don't take time to research it and to learn all about it and take it one step at a time. So this is what tends to happen, is that people make huge changes off the bat anytime something happens, and it's too many changes, so you don't know what's working and what's not working. You have to take it baby steps. The same way with working out and getting healthy. You can't just all of a sudden go from being a couch potato to being a power lifter overnight. Like, you can't just be like, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to max out everything I can, and then I'm going to sign up for a competition next week. That's just not how it works. Like, you have to steadily increase things until you can reach your full potential. That way you know what works and what doesn't. And for all I know, it might just be minor changes. It could just be that one thing is setting off kind of like a ripple effect, which I feel like that might be the case, because when I was diagnosed with gastroparesis and my fructose intolerance, it was about 6 or 7 years ago. And so I had a ton of blood work done. I had a bunch of surgeries, and if there was something big like all this stuff that's wrong, something would have flagged. So everything that's going on right now hasn't been my whole life. You know, I'm sure little things adding up here and there, but it's been within the last 6 or 7 years. So it's not too late to fix it. It might be harder because I am literally right on that edge, and it's really gonna piss me off if I am diabetic due to freaking stress. It's just gonna cause more stress. See how that works? When I got up, the first thing I did was made my regular breakfast, and I added a few things, took out a few things, and here's a clip. First meal. So I have my regular amount of protein, 3 eggs, a couple egg whites, salt, pepper, tomatoes, lots of spinach because I love spinach, the newly added avocado to help me get some of my fats in and to hopefully start being able to process some of my protein. I have some feta also for some fats. I did downsize drastically on the amount of bread that I eat. I usually have 6 pieces of bread, sometimes 7. I'm going to go down to 2 just to kind of minimize my carbs, and hopefully I can start processing some of this stuff. Along with my first meal, I'm going to start adding in my medication. So these 2 pills are just so that I don't kill people. Got this guy right here, which is going to be basically just a regular multivitamin. It's nothing fancy, just a Walmart generic brand, just to start helping me get some of the vitamins in that I may be missing in my meals, which is clear that I am at this point. And then these 2 pills are called Adrenal Restore. I get these, grab the pill bottle. I get these from First Form. I am in no way, shape, or form affiliated with them, but I do believe in their products greatly. They are fantastic. The Adrenal Restore is going to be so that I can start kind of fixing my adrenal glands. So we all know that I do have some adrenal issues, and so what I need to do is start cutting back on the caffeine, and in order to do that, I need to kind of help repair them in the process. So while I'm cutting back on the caffeine, adding more water, start taking my Adrenal Restore, I can try and start reversing the things that are currently wrong with me. This video has been so much longer than I had ever intended. I didn't realize how long it was going to take me to kind of just word vomit that out on you. So I apologize for that. But I hope this was helpful to some of you. And please, please comment below what you think. And if you have any advice whatsoever, so if you have any of these things, I would love to hear your thoughts. I could probably give you a few tips myself on the fructose and the gastroparesis because I've been dealing with it for so very long. And they do have AA for fructose people. So Hy-Vee, if you are around the Midwest region, Hy-Vee, the grocery store, has a fructose intolerance class that they have where people gather around and talk about their stomach issues. So that was actually quite helpful to me, which I went to. It's just like an AA meeting. It's very strange. But there's a lot of books and stuff, and doing your own research and being proactive about it is the best way to go about doing it. But anyways, that's enough. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video whatsoever, or if it was helpful to you. I would love, love, love to have you guys stick around, so make sure to tap that little subscription button as well. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.